Well, here at the Rogers Center, sound baffles are being added because the Rolling Stones are going to be in concert here come Monday night. Thus, the roof is closed. That's one reason the roof is closed. The other reason the roof is closed is, quite frankly, it's raining outside. We get set for the final game, the fourth game of this series between the Seattle Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Mariners looking to make it 3 of 4. Very pleasant good afternoon to you, everybody. Dave Diaz along with Ron Fairley. Now, Canada knows all about Felix Hernandez. What a show he put on last night.
Well, there's no question about that. And, of course, he pitched a dominating game, which we know that he's capable of doing. Yes, he's going to have his strikeouts, as he demonstrated last night, getting a couple of guys right here with his nasty curveballs. But I think the thing that's been more impressive is the fact he's been able to take the power hitters and make them hit the ball on the ground. In last night's game, young Felix had 13 ground ball outs to go along with the strikeouts. He had a half a dozen strikeouts, 13 ground ball outs. It doesn't leave that many opportunities for the other guys in the field, and because of that, picked up the victory in last night's game.
So what a show he put on. He allowed only the 2 hits in the 7 and the 3rd innings that he worked last night and picked up the win. The Mariners hung on barely and won it by a score of 3-2. Tonight now, front and center, Joel Pinheiro. Joel Pinheiro against Gustavo Chacin. As far as Pinheiro is concerned, he has been outstanding lately. What has he done lately? Let's give you an idea of what he has done lately. Pinheiro has been following Felix Hernandez in his last few starts, and he has had tremendous success going 4-2. Does he fuel off of Hernandez? Is that the reason? Does he have something to prove? Maybe. Well, we talked to his pitching coach, and Brian Price had this to say, our guy could quote about why Pinheiro has gotten it turned around.
Well, I think part of it's mechanical. You know, he's made a couple of mechanical adjustments that I think have allowed him to do some things he wasn't able to do earlier. But more importantly, it's the mental adjustments. It's anticipating success. It's being aggressive. It's attacking the strike zone. His command has been a lot better. His walks are down. He's getting ahead of more hitters, and you can see it in his body language. You can see the confidence and the expectation of doing well. And you know, nobody can pitch successfully over a full season without the confidence that they need to win. And I think for at least for part of the season, early in the season, I think he had lost that, but I think he's got it back now.
Well, certainly mechanics are very, very important, but Joel Pinheiro is a different pitcher than earlier in the year. His arm strength is returning. His fastball is at 92, 93 miles an hour versus 87 and 88 miles an hour. That with location of pitches, and you have a completely different pitcher out there on the mound.
And his opponent tonight, Gustavo Chacin, has been outstanding too in the month of September, an ERA of 1.71. So it should be a dandy. The Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays will be back and have a look at tonight's starting lineups right after this timeout. Warm-ups begin. Let's check the lineups with Red.
All right, let's check out the Southwest Airlines starting line, the final game with Toronto this year. It'll be Ichiro, Betancourt, Ibanez, Sexton, Beltre, Morse, the designated hitter, Reed, Lopez, and then Torrealba. And a scouting report on Chacin. His fastball, 86 to 90 miles an hour. Fair curveball, but a very good changeup. He's also added a cutter, which is a very good out pitch for him. He's a left-handed finesse pitcher, changes speed, moves the ball around extremely well. Defensively, behind Chacin, it'll be Gross, Wells, and Rios in the outfield. Koski, Adams, Hill, Hillenbrand at first base, and Quiroz behind the plate, calling the pitches for Chacin, who comes into this game with a record of 12-9, ERA at 3.51. This will be his 32nd start of the year. He's 24 years of age, 5'11", 193 pounds, out of Maracaibo, Venezuela. And against the Mariners this year, this will be his 3rd start. He lost 3-0 to Gilgamesh on June the 1st, and then he beat Ryan Franklin 9-4 here on July the 20th, and has a lifetime mark of 1-1 against the Seattle Mariners.
So Chacin will be working on Ichiro. Ichiro, who had a 5-game hitting streak, snapped last night. Ichiro went 0 for 5 and is still 8 hits away from 200. And, of course, with this game included, only 10 games left on the year. So we're underway as Gustavo delivers the first pitch. On the inside corner, so-called strike one by Ed Rapuano, the man calling balls and strikes tonight. And that's in the same spot. That's a breaking ball right on the inside corner. And looks like he's got a pretty wide strike zone tonight, Lepuano. Chassin presents kind of an eerie persona out there with those glasses that he wears that you can't see his eyes when he turns. And Ichiro pulls it foul up the first baseline.
A little bit different delivery out there. A little of a hesitation right in the middle of his windup. Turns off to one side, then gives you a little sidestep, and then hesitation, and then comes to you at the plate. Something that you just have to get used to.
That's off the glove of Guillermo Quiroz. This is the first time we've seen Quiroz in a ball game. As we mentioned, both of them, the pitcher and the catcher, are from Maracaibo, Venezuela. Chassin 24, his catcher 23. Out of play down the third baseline. Toronto's going to play the big boys for 6 days in a row, the Yankees and the Red Sox, before returning to close out their year against Kansas City here.
That fastball right in on the hands of Ichiro, and boy, he did a good job just to get a bat on it.
And so far, an 8-pitch sequence to Ichiro.
And they're pounding him inside. Just about all the pitches have been right in on the hands or the belt of Ichiro.
And again, keeping everything in right on his hands.
Ichiro having a rough time just hitting it fair.
And finally, right back up the middle, but there's Chassin to glove it and throw him out.
Well, Ichiro finally put it in play, but a very good defensive play by Chassin. Right back at him. Nice play by the pitcher and an easy lob to first base. And coming in from spring training this year at the start of the season, he was only the 10th best pitcher in the Blue Jays organization, and here he is, a 12-game winner for him this year.
That's right down the middle to Junieski Betancourt. And that ball is going to be a base hit into left center field. So Betancourt shatters his bat and picks up the single.
Well, for Betancourt, he's now hit safely in 9 of the last 10 games. He's really been turning it on here in the last couple of weeks or so. That's his 9th hit on this road trip. Even though it breaks the bat, still it falls in there for a base hit. Breaks it, shatters the bat.
A little bit inside.
Of all the guys in the lineup, it's been Ibanez has had the most success against Chassin. He's 3 for 6. Not very many at bats. Nevertheless, he's batting .500, and he's homered against Chassin. And it's a left-hand hitter going against the left-hander.
Two 2-0 on Raul Ibanez. Here in the month of September, Chassin 1-1 with a 1.71 earned run average. He was shut out by the Yankees of 1-0 in his last outing. Three 3-0 on Ibanez.
And now he throws a strike. I thought they might green light Raul, because Ibanez has had success. 3 for 6 with a home run off Shashin. And again, keeping the ball inside. The weather has changed here north of the border from bright sunshine, 81 degrees at game time last night, to a cloudy, rainy evening here this evening. And they got him picked off. Betancourt right in the old hot box. Back and forth he goes. And finally he's going to be tagged out.
Well, it wasn't the best rundown.
It wasn't by the book, was it?
No. I don't know whether they just executed it right or that Betancourt just says, I give up.
1, 3, 6, 3, 4, 1. And finally the pitcher tags him out. Full count on Raul Ibanez. And he walked it. So with 2 away, Ibanez to first base, and here's Richie Sexson. I want to pass along our best wishes to a dear friend of mine and our family, Nancy Graves, who's been our neighbor for 29 years. Has been in the hospital in Overlake, not the greatest place to spend 3 or 4 days. I understand she's going to be there another couple of days or so, Nancy. We hope that things are coming along fine for you and are out of there real soon. She's a tremendous Mariner fan. I know she's watching this afternoon in Seattle. Strike on the inside corner. To Richie Sexson. Chacin having worked quite a bit here despite the pickoff. The official scoring on that pickoff was 1-3-6-3-6-1, but I think it was 4-1. I think the second baseman was in there, Aaron Hill. And a shot right back up the middle into center field. Richie Sexson in batting practice hit a ball into somebody's soup up there in the Windows Cafe. Above the windows into the top row up there where they're eating. That's quite a shot.
Well, how about this shot right here, right back up the middle off of Shashin. And for Sexton, he's hit now in 14 of the last 15 games. He's been batting .300 during that time, and Shashin is lucky he didn't have a great big bruise mark on his thigh. That ball whistled right on by him.
A strike to Beltre, who hit one over the dead center field fence Tuesday night for his 19th home run of the year.
A lot of pitches here in the very first inning. 24.
A ball and 2 strikes the count as Shashin continues to throw a lot of pitches here in the first. He's lucky he got the pick off, or he'd be in quite a bit of trouble right now. Way inside. Chassin working up quite a sweat out there in the first inning. Beltre hanging tough. As we go to Detroit tomorrow, Ryan Franklin will take on Sean Douglas. The Detroit Tigers a day off today. They were struggling, have been struggling lately. They've lost 7 in a row. Foul back again. That's a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. That's about the top of the radar for Chassin.
Well, it's a little bit better fastball than what the scouting report. They had him 86 to 90, but that last one at 92. His command has been very good. His ball to strike ratio. He's only thrown 9 balls. The rest are all strikes.
And that's another foul ball. That was a cutter. He does have a cutter.
Well, he said in the scouting report that he's added that cutter to his pitching, and that has been a real good out pitch for him. You can see here that the right-handers, boy, that ball hitting them right on the handle. Beltre has a rough time getting around on it.
And he struck him out on a fastball that may have been out of the strike zone. So a struggle for Mr. Chassin here in the first, but he comes away unscathed after giving up a couple of hits. He needs 2 out there. We are underway. Back to the bottom of the first after this word from Southwest Airlines.
After throwing 30 pitches, Gustavo Chassin finally got out of the inning with no damage. The Mariners did not score. Let's take a look at the Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the Blue Jays. It'll be Adams, Catalinato, Wells, Koski, Hillenbrand, Rios, Gross, Hill, and then Quiroz. And the scouting report for Joel Pinheiro, fastball in the low 90s. His arm strength is getting better and better, and his command has been much better in recent games.
So a strike to Russ Adams as we are underway in the bottom half of the first. It looked like Pinheiro had nailed down a win in his last outing. And a ground ball to first, and Sexton back at first base, bobbles the ball, can't find the handle. Ritchie had to go right off his glove. That should be an error on Sexton.
Well, let's take a look at it again. Ritchie having to dive to the line. Not an easy play, but boy, it gets in that carpet, and you're down there in the ground, or in the carpet anyway. That ball just rolls away from you. And you just can't quite get up in time to toss to first base. Let's see how they score that.
They're scoring a base hit.
They're going to give a base hit. Okay.
An infield hit off the glove of Sexton. And here comes Catalinato.
Boy, I thought for a second that Adams was going to try to steal. He has 9 stolen bases. It looked like he was kind of maybe working on getting a jump down there at first base.
There he goes. And the pitch is lined into left field for a base hit. So Banez will pick it up, get it back into second base. So a hit and run, and Catalanato comes through.
Nice bit of hitting that time by Catalanato. Let's see if we can see the pitch one more time. The runner is going. And what kind of a pitch was it? Well, it was pretty much in the middle of the plate, but down. And Catalanato had a rough time getting around on it. Just kind of looped it down the left field line. And the Blue Jays are in business here. Runners at first and third, and nobody out. Vernon Wells coming up there. Here's a guy that's tough to get out in situations like this.
Got a 6-game hitting streak. Has homered off Pinheiro. 5 for 13 against him.
Well, the two guys that have hit Joel relatively well, Vernon Wells and Shea Hillenbrand. Wells a .385 hitter, Hillenbrand a .400 hitter. They've each homered.
Not close. 2-1. Of course, the new leaders in the East are the New York Yankees. Baltimore is at New York tonight, and they're in the first. No score there. Boston is idle. There's his shot back up the middle. So that'll pick up the first run of the ball game as Russ Adams comes in to score. Vernon Wells, his 92nd RBI. 3 consecutive hits to greet Pinheiro's start here tonight.
And now a 7-game hitting streak for Vernon Wells. And hit number 5 here in the series. Pretty much in the middle of the plate. You see Joel sticking his foot out, trying to block that ball from going back up the middle, but obviously didn't hit his foot.
Corey Koski, the hitter.
Dave, here's a guy who's been hitting a lot of doubles lately.
It was Koski who last night hit that line drive to Betancourt, trying to get up the ladder to Spirit. Went off his glove for the first hit of the ball game in the 7th inning off Felix Hernandez.
Fastball off the hands. 9 of the last 21 hits by Corey Koski have been doubles.
And that curveball lined into left center field, and that's going to go all the way to the fence. So Catalanato's going to score. Vernon Wells is right behind him. He's going to piggyback him home. No, he'll stop at third. He was right crawling up his back. So Catalanato scores easily. Vernon Wells decides to go back to third.
Tell you what, Vernon Wells almost passed Catalanato. Catalanato didn't quite, well, he couldn't read whether Reed was going to catch that ball or not. He's going to go back to tag up, but then right there is Wells. Reads that ball. They almost look where Catalanato goes, and all of a sudden decides he's going to be able to score. And holding up is Vernon Wells. I think if Vernon Wells continues, he would have been able to score easily.
I do too.
Well, but you don't want to make the first out of the inning at home plate, though.
Shea Hillenbrand takes inside, and so a rough start for Pinheiro.
Well, once again, Koski with that double. That's 10 doubles in his last 22 hits.
And a strike, 1-1. This was in the 9th inning last night against Eddie Guardado. Little doubt about that one. That got the Blue Jays within 1, and that's where it ended. 3-2. But there was a tremendous play by Jeremy Reed on a Greg Zahn shot that looked like it was going to win the ball game, and he went back to the wall to pull it down in deep left center to save that ball game last night.
Yeah, I thought when Zahn hit it, that had a chance to leave the yard and the game would have been over. But a good play by Jeremy.
Still nobody out. 4 consecutive hits. Bit of concern on that man's face right there. Boy, this one has started to unfold. Just had a shot of Alex Rios on deck, and that pitch is hit sharply right to Beltre, and now they're going to come to the plate. Got to try and get Vernon Wells, and finally they're going to throw it back to Sexton, who's there at first base, and that wasn't very well executed either, because now you still have runners at second and third, but only 1 out.
Well, he ends up going 5-2, 5-3. But you can see the ball hit sharply right at the third baseman, and where Wells was playing, he had no place to go. I mean, he's going to be out either way. So coming to the plate and then throwing back to Beltre, and then coming in as Sexton that makes the tag. But in the meantime, the guy that hit the ball, Hillenbrand, gets down to second base. So no change. Blue Jays still have runners at second and third.
And Alex Rios will be the hitter. And the Mariners will bring the infield up now. And all the way to the backstop, but it comes right back to Torrealba. M's get a tremendous break.
Just kind of wonder if by chance that Torrealba and Pinheiro, they might have gotten mixed up on the side. That ball scooted right on by Torrealba. Okay, Torrealba's been very good about pass balls. That one right there, right between the wickets. And you see the runner starting to come down from third, but the ball hit something firm behind home plate, came right on back out.
One. A little low. Pinheiro wanted that one. And that's low and off the glove of Torrealba.
Tell you what's interesting is Torrealba's had only 3 pass balls the last 238 games. And all of a sudden he almost has 2 here in 1 inning. And that breaking ball, and the best one he's thrown. Good
so
break.
far.
Just as a point of information, you can only be charged with a pass ball if a runner advances. But since no runners have advanced on the balls that have gotten past Toriyama, then they're no pass ball by rule.
And that breaking ball hit fouled on the third baseline. Fastball line to center field for a base hit. He was right on the screws with that one. So coming into scores Corey Koski. Hillenbrand goes to third. Rios picks up his 57th RBI. And Gabe Gross will be the hitter.
Look at it one more time. The one down low and outside, and that pretty much splits the plate. And I'll tell you what, Rios put a charge in it. He hit that ball as hard as he's going to hit a ball. And because he hit it so hard, there's no way that Hillenbrand can score. That ball getting to the outfield so quickly. That's 5 hits here in the inning.
Still only 1 out in the inning. As Gabe Gross will step up to the plate, and finally Brian Price will exit. And Toronto's 3 for 3 with men in scoring position in this first inning. Nero sopping wet out there. He's really had to work too. We've seen 54 pitches in this game already, and we're only 1 out into the first inning, bottom of the first. And a change outside. Another change. It's fouled at the plate. The hot Cleveland Indians are opening up a 4-game series in Kansas City. And the White Sox, who are still the leaders by 2.5 in the Central, opening up a tough 4-game series against the Minnesota Twins tonight in Chicago. Cleveland is in Kansas City. And that pitch over the first baseman into right field. So that's going to pick up Hillenbrand, and down to third base goes Rios. Hopped right over Sexton.
Well, you're going to have to bounce the ball pretty high in the air if you're going to get it over the head of Richie Sexton. When he jumped in the air, still couldn't pull it down. Look at it one more time. That ball is bounced hard right into the dirt. And then well over the head of Richie Sexton. See the big guy giving forth the effort. Missed that by maybe a foot or so. But a real rough inning for Joel Pinheiro.
And this is Aaron Hill. And Hill hits it hard on a line to Raul Ibanez, making the catch, tagging Rios. The throw to the plate cut off. And it's a 5-run inning. 5-0. Sacrifice fly for Hill. This is Quiroz, the young catcher. And Hasegawa starts to get up here in the first inning. Pinheiro's curve is a strike, 0-1. Well, looks like he's just completely out of whack here in the first.
Well, let me tell you what, he's made a few mistakes up there, and every time he's thrown one down the middle of the plate, Blue Jays have not missed it. They've nailed it.
And that ball is hit to deep left field. That's going to be over the head of Ibanez off the base of the wall. Gabe Gross is to third base on a double by Quiroz. Quiroz came into this game 2 for 21. And for the second time in the inning, Russ Adams will step to the plate.
And that pitch there was pretty much down the middle of the plate as well. So the Blue Jays have sent 9, now 10 men to the plate here in the very first inning. And they've tallied 5 times. Mariners are going to have their work cut out of them. They're going to come back and get it back into this ball game. Here's Adams, who singled and scored in the very top of the inning. Adams having quite a year, Dave. I mean, here's a young man that is obviously is a rookie. And he's among the top 5 in the American League as far as rookies are concerned. And hits, runs, RBIs, stolen bases, base on balls, extra base hits. You name it, he's in the top 5 in several of those categories. So a good candidate for the Rookie of the Year.
And that's a strike. Strikes already. 33 pitches for Joel. 30 for Shishine in the top of the inning. But Shishine came away unscathed. Joel has not. So it's finally over as Russ Adams fans, but the damage has been done. The Blue Jays off to a roaring start in this one. They have a 5 spot on the board. When the Mariners come back, it'll be Morse, Reed, and Jose Lopez. 5-0. Well, the two guys that combined last night to win it. Of course, Felix was the star of the show. And Eddie Guardado gritted and scratched and clawed and finally got out of it in the bottom of the 9th to preserve the 3-2 win. Felix Hernandez, of course, picking up the W. As we go to the second inning of play here, Michael Morse leads it off. And a strike is called. Long way to go on this one, but early the M's down 5. Nice change.
Good change up and a cutter. The 2 pitches I think that have helped Shishine out probably the most. Fastball is not necessarily overpowering, although it's a good fastball.
Routine fly ball to right, and Rios makes the easy catch. This is the 10th meeting between these two clubs this year. Mariners are 4-5 against Toronto. That sore left wrist heavily taped almost all the way up the forearm of Jeremy Reed. Little looper into left field and charging on the run. Gabe Gross makes the catch.
Started to go back.
So Gross, the former Auburn quarterback, made up for the slight mistake. Made an easy catch of it. Jose Lopez is the hitter. keeping the ball down, living on that outside corner here in the second. Same pitch, right on the outside corner, strikes him out. 1-2-3 the story for the Mariners here in the second. So they go, and again, 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up for Toronto. They lead it 5-0. And welcome back to the Rogers Center here in Toronto. The roof is closed because of preparation for a rock concert here on Monday night. The Rolling Stones will be in concert here in Toronto. And as we go to the bottom of the second inning, Frank Catalanato, who executed a hit and run play perfectly in the first inning, takes a strike. Curveball a little bit low, and the count of ball and 2 strikes.
I always thought this guy right here, Frank Catalanato, was a pretty good hitter. He's basically a line drive hitter, doesn't have a lot of home runs. He's hit 61 in his career. He's always been a line drive hitter, sprays the ball around.
You can hear the 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Nothing wrong with his velocity. It's down low and inside. The change. Vernon Wells is on deck. And Sexton has the easy play here. So 1 away in the second. Vernon Wells had the line drive to center field. Pick up an RBI in the first. Wells is going to end up having a very respectable year.
Well, obviously, depending on what he does between now and the end of the year, he could very well. He only needs 3 more home runs for 30, and he only needs 8 more RBIs for 100. Leads the team with 59 extra base hits, does well.
Count full. And a big yacker that time. Comes back with a curveball to strike him out. 2 away.
Check out the breaking ball of Joel. That's very similar to the kind of curveball that we saw last night with Hernandez. Very good curveball.
Corey Koski, the double into the left center field area in the first. Sharply hit, foul. Nice change. Maybe his best pitch, that and that big curveball he's got. Fastball seems to be, although it's 91, 92, 93 miles an hour, seems to be straight tonight.
It's also been pretty much in the middle of the plate. You got to get it away from the middle of the plate.
Another change. And grounded easily to Jose Lopez. So certainly Pinheiro is right at the ship here in the second. He gets the Jays 1, 2, 3. And as we go to the third, it'll be your Vint, Torrealba, Ichiro, Junieski, Betancourt to try and get something started for the Mariners. It's 5-0. Moving to the third inning of play, and as Ichiro does his preparation of stretch exercises, Yorvit Torrealba preceding him to the plate to lead off the third inning here. Torrealba, a couple of base hits last night. Chachin is high and outside with his first delivery. Nice series for Torrealba, 3 for 8, home run. Right down the middle, 2 and 1 to count.
Torrealba having a pretty good road trip. He has 5 hits, 17 at bats, including a home run.
Baltimore leading the Yankees 1-0 in the top 4 in New York. Easily right back to the man. Talking about being sawed off.
Now, wouldn't you call that? You can't call that a line drive. it didn't hit hard enough for me.
Well, you could have cut that barehanded.
Oh, golly. I hit a ball like that one day. I don't think I hit it that hard. About as soft as you can toss the ball from the plate back to the pitcher, about as hard as I hit it that one.
Ichiro takes the strike. And Koski short hops, throws to first, and gets it.
Once again, right into the hands of Ichiro, and he taps it down third. Koski has to make a very quick play down there at third base, so they're going to throw him out, and he did.
Junieski had the line drive base hit in the first inning. Can't quite get to it. Good sized kid, that young man. Queiroz, 6'3", 210 pounds. Youngster from Venezuela. And he walked it. The Blue Jays in their stat pack has an interesting statistic I don't think I've ever seen, but it really tells you something about the catching. They have the catcher's ERA, what the pitchers ERA is when a certain catcher catches it. For example, when Greg Zahn catches, the pitcher's ERA is 3.74. When this youngster catches, and he's a rookie, Guillermo Quiroz, ERA 6.21.
So if you're a pitcher, who would you rather pitch to? You want to go against the veteran, don't you? You want he may have a little bit better idea back there behind the plate. That's why I think when you have the backup catcher, you got to find someone on the staff that he works well with. And if you're going to give him a chance to play, that's the pitcher that you use to get him some playing time and give your everyday catcher some time off.
That's just a good old high, hard country fastball right there. 93 miles an hour from Gustavo Chacin, and the Mariners are gone. They leave a man, and as we go to the bottom half of the third, it's still 5-0 Toronto. Well, friends, you could walk away with the Mariners jersey autographed by Ichiro or Richie Sexson or Felix Hernandez, Dan Wilson, any of your favorite Mariners players on Friday, September the 30th, as part of Fan Appreciation Night. You could also win an iPod, an Alaska Airlines vacation package, other autographed memorabilia. The delivery is a little bit high to Shea Hillenbrand, being off the bottom of the third. Find out more about Fan Appreciation Night. Visit SeattleMariners.com for tickets. 2-0. Easy play for Jose Lopez. One down. Baltimore still a 1-0 lead over the Yankees in the top half of the fourth. Colorado 4-2 over San Diego today. That's a final. So the Padres got back to 500. A strike, and their lead over the Giants is 5 games. The Giants are in Washington tonight playing the Nationals. Cubs shut out Milwaukee today 3-0. Nice breaking ball. And Alex Rios has to take a seat. So Pinheiro now has retired 6 in a row.
And came back that time with a very good straight changeup that had Rios way out front. Third strikeout in the game for Joel.
Gabe Gross had that high chopper that just bounced over Richie Sexton's head into right field. And a change again, maybe his best pitch tonight. Houston beat Pittsburgh 2-1. The leaders in the wild card by 2 games over the Phillies coming into play today. And Washington shuts out the Giants 2-0. So the Nationals win.
National 6 games back in that wild card behind the Astros.
Time's running out. I think they're done.
Yeah, I do too. Not that many games remaining, and you're back by half a dozen games. And you have to pass up 3 teams in front of you. I just don't think you're going to make it.
So another very effective inning for Joel Pinheiro, who's retired the last 7 in a row since a nightmare of a first inning. Here in the third, 3 up and 3 down. When we come back, Sexton, Beltre, and Michael Morse for the Mariners, trying to get it something. Well, Joel's really gotten it turned around, probably trying to figure out what in the world was I doing in the first inning when the roof kind of caved in on him as he gave up some shots and ended up giving up 5 runs, but he's certainly got it turned around right now. But now the Mariners try to generate some offense for him as Richie Sexton will lead it off here in the 4th inning. Sexton has one of the 2 hits, both the Mariner hits coming in the first inning. Chacin threw 30 pitches in the first inning and has only thrown 26 in the next 2 innings. What a rip.
Got that fastball right on by Richie. He had a good cut on it. Or a little bit too quick for him.
Again, Chacin looks like he's added velocity since we last saw him, Red.
Well, he's throwing about 2 or 3 miles an hour better now than what the scouting report said.
That was 93.
Well, the scouting report said 86 to 90. And obviously, he's quicker than that.
That was his changeup. Slider that time.
His fastest pitch, 93. His changeup, 78.
Another slider, and he lost it. So maybe the start of something. A leadoff base on balls. 3rd walk given up by Chacin. And Adrian Beltre will be the hitter.
First time up, Chacin throwing a lot of pitches right into the hands of Beltre, and Adrian had a rough time getting around to the pitch. Let's see what kind of adjustments he makes up there this time. Went away that time, and Adrian looking for the ball inside.
Cleveland and Kansas City just getting underway in Kansas City. And that pitch, a towering high fly ball, hit to left field. And back on the warning track is Gross to make the catch. And holding over at first base, Richie Sexton. Beltre just missed that one.
There's a swing by Beltre, just getting 100 by a hair. Otherwise, that would have been a 2-run homer.
Michael Morse is the hitter now. And that's the way Michael Morse hits, baby. He goes to right field, right center field. And he hits a bullet into right field.
4-game hitting streak now for Mike. There are some guys that pull the ball a great deal, then there are other guys that like to go the other way. Obviously, Morse is one of those hitters that will be hitting a lot of balls to center field and to right field. A lot of hits the other way.
Jeremy puts the ball right back over the screen in front of us into the stands. And Jeremy goes down the third baseline. That's a fair ball. So Sexton's going to score. Michael Morse round second and will hold there. It is a ground rule double because a fan touched it down the left field line. So Sexton will be allowed to score. Michael Morse goes to third base, and it is a ground rule double.
I think that ball hit right on the line. Gets jammed, and see if this doesn't hit right on the line. Looked like it did to me. And of course, the umpire, that was right at his feet. And right now, John Gibbons going out saying something to the home plate umpire, and I'm not too sure what that's about.
But the fan apparently reached over down there. Ed Rapuano explaining something to John Gibbons.
There's a ground rule double, fan interference. I think what he's arguing is that if the fan does not interfere, is that only a single? Doesn't.
There's where the fan picked it up. So runners at second and third. The Mariners are on the board. And Jose Lopez now, the hitter. Taking too far inside. Mariners a chance to jump right back in this ball game here in the fourth. That's foul.
Well, with the way the Blue Jays are playing, a ground ball to short, ground ball to second, they'll go ahead and give you the run. But you have the third baseman Koski playing even with a bag, so anything hit down there, you're not going to be able to score.
And the fan that interfered is ejected.
So right now, Lopez up there at the plate. The guy that he has to stay away from is the third baseman.
Foul tipped into the glove. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Very light crowd here tonight. Jose Lopez didn't play in last night's ball game. Ramon Santiago got the call at second base. Right back in there tonight. Pulled it. Got around on that one. That slider right in on his hands. Still Baltimore 1, New York nothing in the fifth. .75 pitches for Chacin. And a high fastball. It's hammered into the gap in deep left center field. That's going to get down, and it's going to go to the warning track, and it's also going to score 2 runs. And the Mariners are right back in this one. It's 5-3. How about Jose Lopez? He has been something lately. Now has a 5-game hitting streak. Got on top of that high fastball and drove it into the left center field gap. Picked up his 22nd, 23rd RBI.
Dave, I think he might be the best high fastball hitter on this club, because he handled that pitch up there quite well, as demonstrated by that last swing. 5-game hitting streak he mentioned. Picks up a couple more RBIs, and the Mariners obviously very much in this game. Nothing doing out in the Toronto Blue Jays bullpen right now, as the pitching coach Arnsberg going out and having a little quick conference with Chacin.
Your beat, Torrealba, another Venezuelan. Well, try and keep her going for the Mariners here in the fourth. Right to third, and Corey Koski has got it. And Ichiro will be the hitter. Ichiro tapped back to the mound and grounded to third. Slider away. I think Chacin thought he might have had that pitch. So 1 outside, 1 inside now, and it's 2-0. Phillies shut out Atlanta today 4-0, so they keep pace with Houston. Slow breaking ball. '81. And Ichiro slowly hits the ball to Hill, and Aaron throws to first in time. The Mariners settle for the 3 spot here in the fourth. 3 runs on 3 hits and a man left. And as we go to the bottom of the fourth, it's 5-3 Toronto. 5-3 Toronto leading the Mariners. That's quite a combination, huh? Pink and blonde. Kind of pretty. You'd look good in that red. Huh? 2005 regular season winding down, and your last chance to see the Mariners in 2005 begins on Tuesday at 7:05, hosting the Rangers, a 3-game series. And the delivery by Joel is high. Ball 1 ball, and no strikes to Aaron Hill. That final homestand features a MasterCard Grand Slam Family Pack night, final one of the year. That's on Wednesday. U.S. Bank Mariners matinee at 3:35 on Thursday. Hope we're going to see you in his final homestand. Tickets, you log on to SeattleMariners.com. Good breaking ball from Joel, and the count 2-1.
Well, Mariners right back in this game. It's very important right here this inning that Joel put up a 0. And then give the Mariners a chance to get back into that dugout and swing the bat some more. See if they can't take the lead.
Looking forward to the game on Sunday in Detroit. It'll be a start for Gil Mesh. Boy, he was unbelievable. His 2 innings out of the bullpen the other night. See you later, Aaron Hill. That's 3 strikeouts in a row. Ryan Franklin tomorrow against Sean Douglas. Jamie Moyer on Saturday against Jason Grilly. And then Mesh and left-hander Mike Murat. Strike on the inside corner to Guillermo Quiroz, who had the double down the left field line in the first. Right down on the outside corner, maybe a little bit more toward the center of the plate, but he couldn't pull the trigger. And that's 4 in a row retired by strikeout, 5 of the last 6. First time through the lineup, look at that. And since then, 0 for the last 9.
You know, there are times when pitchers go out there and they start the game and they got their arm ready and everything else, but they're really not mentally into the game. And all of a sudden, bang, bang, bang with Joel tonight. They scored 5 runs in the very first inning, and all of a sudden you kind of wake up, and that makes you concentrate and bear down a little bit better. See, that happened to a lot of pitchers. All of a sudden, the first inning they struggled, but then after that they shut everything down.
And Sexton catches it in foul territory.
Took a while for the home plate umpire to make that call. And the reason it took a while for the home plate umpire to make the call is because Sexton was in front of the bag. The home plate umpire has that call until it reaches either first or third base bag. And then from that point on, it's the first or third base umpire to make the call.
And an easy play for Jose Lopez, so that's 10 in a row shut down by Joel Pinheiro. It's a different pitcher than we saw in the first, completely different pitcher. So we go to the 5th inning of play, 5-3 Toronto. Well, we go to the 5th inning of play now. Dave Niehaus along with Ron Fairley, and Joel Pinheiro had Chigatoshi Hasegawa up in the bullpen throwing behind him in his rocky start as we've seen him have. And then all of a sudden, like somebody turned on a light, he's retired 10 in a row. The Mariners picking up 3 in the 4th, jumping back in the ball game, and now here they come in the 5th as Junieski Betancourt, 1 for 1 and a base on balls, leads it off against his struggling Gustavo Chachin. And that's a little high, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Outside, ball 3, 3 balls and no strikes. The inside, walk him on 4 straight pitches, and be too surprised to see some activity out in that bullpen pretty soon for Toronto.
Well, they've got somebody up kind of pendling the arm around. McGowan, Dustin McGowan, number 40, down there in the bullpen, starting to loosen up. So you're right. Not a wise idea when you start reaching this point in the game. Walk the leadoff man with the big boys coming up now.
4 walks. Ibanez, the strike this time to him, 0-1. Yankees, they tied Baltimore 1-1. They're in the top of the 6th in New York. Minnesota and the White Sox in Chicago. No score in the 2nd. He is completely out of kilter now, too. He's on only 1 strike in the last 2 hitters in the last 7 pitches.
Yeah, and he's been up, which makes you think that maybe he's starting to run out of gas a bit. I think the first part of the game he kept the ball down a lot better, but lately he's been up.
Matter of fact, 8 of his last 11 pitches have been balls. There's 1, and that's all they'll get. Ball hit slow enough to not have a chance to turn the double play.
Looked like Hill was thinking about catching a ball and then tagging Betancourt as he went by and then throw Ibanez out to the DP, but it didn't quite work like that because Betancourt got past him.
So here's Richie now. Walked and scored last inning in a single. And that ball hammered into the gap in left center field. That baby's going to go all the way out there near the warning track. It'll be backhanded by Vernon Wells. Raul Ibanez rounds third and holds there. And quickly the Jays get it back in as the stop sign was put up by Carlos Garcia wisely.
Nice relay at the time from Wells to Adams to Quiroz, the catcher. Look at it one more time. You see Vernon Wells out there, and then Ibanez going all the way. And he's thinking about scoring right there. And you see him coming around third base, and all of a sudden, whoops, put up the green light, or the red light rather. Put up the stop sign.
So now the Mariners have the tying runs in scoring position here in the 5th. Adrian Beltre sent Gabe Gross right to the warning track to take his drive last inning. And that's pulled down the third base line, fair ball. We're going to have a tie ball game as a fan again reaches over down there but does not touch the ball. And going into second base with a stand-up double. And 2 RBI double is Adrian Beltre. So the Mariners have come all the way back from a 5-0 deficit to tie it at 5-5, and they've got the go-ahead run in scoring position here in the 5th.
84 RBIs now for Adrian Beltre, right over the bag. Third base umpire Jim Hoy right on top of the call, checking once again for the fans for interference. Did not touch the ball. Ball's in play.
So out to the mound, John Gibbons, who has seen that 5-run lead to completely melt away. Shashin gives him the ball, and we're going to have a change of pitchers as Dustin McGowan, a right-hander, is going to come in and take over for him. So the Mariners down 5-0. Come back with 3 in the 4th, 2 more here in the 5th, and they're still at the plate trying to take the lead. We'll be right back.
Now comes in making his 11th appearance of the year, record of 1-3. We have seen him work in this series. He worked the opening game on Monday when he went 1 inning, did not give up any runs. He gave up a hit, struck out 1. And of course, that was the game the Mariners won by 7-5 thanks to the grand slam by Richie Sexson in the 9th inning. And he'll be facing Mike Morse with a go-ahead run down there in scoring position. 5-5 tie.
Mike Morse, a line drive to right field for a base hit in the 4th inning, and a fly ball to right field. So Adrian Beltre, the go-ahead run, is second base. Down with the fastball for a strike. He throw hard. That's 94 miles an hour. Big jug that time. Big curveball. Kid from Georgia. The first round draft choice of the Blue Jays 5 years ago in June of 2000. He's had Tommy John surgery. And big curveball, down he goes. So 2 away here in the 5th. Jeremy Reed will try and get the job done.
See what the strategy is here. Reed, the left-handed batter, first base is open. Do they pitch to him or they go after Lopez? Lopez, keep in mind the last time up, doubled to drive in a run. Drove in a couple of runs his last time.
Jeremy Reed had that round rule double. The fan reached out for his ball down the left field line, and that's a strike on the outside corner. Down away with that. Overall, McGowan very high earned run average, 7.32. Change that time. And a fastball away. That's a 98-mile-an-hour fastball that kid just unleashed.
That's the best fastball we've seen in a while.
And the curve, the hammer, in the dirt, but they say went around. So Jeremy Reed is rung up by the home plate umpire and not too happy about it. But the Mariners get 2 to tie. As we go to the bottom of the 5th, we got a new ball game, 5-5.
What a comeback for the Mariners tonight as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Mariners 5 and the Blue Jays 5. Hi again, everybody. Rick Riz along with Ron Fairley and Red. Joel Pinheiro, after that rocky first inning, has really settled down.
He's 2 different pitchers. We had a pitcher, I don't know who it was in the first inning, but it's Joel Pinheiro the last 3 innings out there.
Designated hitter Frank Catalinato leading off the bottom of the 5th with a strike from Joel, who has retired the last 10 in a row. Ground ball back up the middle. Betancourt can't get to it, and if he can't get to it, it's a base hit. Catalinato's second base hit of the night. that, Banu? Underneath that hat, behind the shades. We had a chance.
Well, you would know.
I saw him up at
saw him the other
dark.
day?
He was up at the hotel bar a few nights ago at the Park Hyatt in Yorkville here in Toronto. A lot of stars here in Toronto over the past week with the film festival, some big concerts. The Rolling Stones will be here in 4 days. They're getting ready for that. Ground ball foul along the third base line by Wells. And the count is 0-1 on Vernon. I think it's him. I think Dave will want his autograph.
Sure.
Vernon Wells 1 for 2.
Sign his album.
All tied at 5. Big curve. Ground ball to Betancourt. Second for 1. On to first. There's 2. 6-4-3 double play. They get Catalinato at second and double up Vernon Wells at first base.
Pitcher's best friend. Look how quickly Betancourt feeds it over to Lopez. Get a good grip in the ball. Make sure you have an accurate zone. No time to hurry. You have plenty of time to turn the 6-4-3 double play.
Joel Pinheiro has now retired 11 of the last 12 batters. What a turnaround for Joel. Here is third baseman Corey Koski down and in. Ball 1. He gave up 5 runs on 7 base hits in the bottom of the first inning. Hasn't given up a hit since then. 1-1 on Koski. Joel has pitched very well in 7 of his last 9 starts. His pitch count is at 80. A little low and in. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. He left with a lead 5-4 down in Texas in his last start on Saturday. Had a no decision as the Rangers eventually came back and won that ball game 7-6. There's a change inside. Ball 3. 3-1. But prior to that, Red, in his previous 3 starts, Joel was 2-0 with a 1.61 ERA and starts against the Yankees, the A's, and the Angels.
You know, I think Joel started to turn things around when we started seeing him throw a better fastball.
High in the air and out of play on the left field side, and the count is full on Koski at 3-2.
And this just backs up what you were saying about his previous 3 starts to that game down there in Texas. A 4-2 mark ERA, very good. Opponent's not hitting him much, giving up only 4 home runs. In fact, he's allowed very few home runs in his last 8 or 9 outings.
Following starts by this kid right here, Felix Hernandez, who was outstanding last night. He took a no-hitter into the bottom of the 7th inning. He went 6 1/3 of no-hit baseball. And a swing and a miss for strike 3, and that'll end the inning. That is strikeout number 7 for Joel Pinheiro, and after 5, we're tied at 5. We go to the top half of the 6th inning here in Toronto. Mariners and the Blue Jays all tied at 5-5. The Mariners will send up Jose Lopez, Jorby Torrealba, and Ichiro against right-hander Dustin McGowan, who struck out the 2 batters he faced in relief of Gustavo Chacin in the 5th inning when the Mariners got 2 runs to tie the game at 5. Jose Lopez with a big hit, a double to score 2 runs to left center field in the 4th. 3 runs in the 4th, 2 runs in the 5th. 0-1. Outside, ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Red, if you thought anybody was going to leave early among the 2 starters, you would think it would have been Pinheiro, but he's still in this ball game, and Chacin is out of there after going 4 1/3. He gives up 5 runs on 7 base hits, and Joel has been spectacular from the 2nd inning on.
You know, when Chacin started the game, struggled a little bit in the first inning, threw quite a few pitches, and then looked like he was going to settle down. He was going to have an easy game. I mean, he was leading 5-0. But then Joel then started pitching like we know that he's capable of pitching. And you asked me that last half inning about Joel, and that basically, I think, when he started having some arm strength come back is when we started to see him pitch extremely well.
And strike 3 called on Jose Lopez, so 1 out for the Mariners here in the top half of the 6th inning. And Red, it just kind of shows how a baseball game can turn on a dime.
Well, yeah, it can. You know, you have a pitcher out there and you say, well, it's his night. He's got it going. He's got a great big lead and all that other stuff. But then all of a sudden, a double, a triple, a home run, you know, you failure to make a play, walk a batter, and having somebody else hit one, they put crooked numbers in a hurry.
Torrealba with a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, and I tell you what, we're seeing some heat coming up here right now, 96 to 98 miles an hour.
Dustin McGowan has faced 3 batters, has 3 strikeouts. Torrealba's swing and a miss. And the count is 0-2. It's an off-speed pitch at 87.
Mariners are seeing a little bit in this young man right here, like that of what Hernandez was doing to the Blue Jays last night.
Yeah. Fastball up and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Torrealba. That came in at 97 miles an hour. So this guy can turn it up. Torrealba 0 for 2. Bounces that pitch. Low and outside, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, you got a Blue Jay out there and something else out there behind Vernon Wells, the Blue Jay. It's a pigeon. A lot of them here. How about at Old Exhibition Stadium where you played the first year back in 1977? Way up and in, and Torrealba gets out of the way. Ball 3, 3-2. The Seagulls would always come in about the 7th inning. There'd be a flock of seagulls out there, you know, looking for some popcorn, some peanuts. You know, they were hungry.
Well, they're baseball fans.
Sure.
You got to go to the ball game. You got to get some peanuts and popcorn.
Yeah. That's a common scene at Husky Stadium. The Seagulls come in, swinging a foul back by Torrealba. The count is still 3-2.
Have you noticed at Safeco Field there's that one pigeon that comes in? It's kind of like the scout that comes in about the 7th inning, 6th or 7th inning. Kind of flies around and then goes out. And then as soon as that game's over, there's about a dozen pigeons there.
That's what this guy's doing right here. Look at,
he's the scout.
Vernon Wells is talking to him. Fouled back by Torrealba. The count is still 3-2. Well, because of the preparation for the concert, this guy is locked in Rogers Center because the roof is closed and will stay closed for the next 4 or 5 days because they've got the banners up there for a backdrop. Ground ball back up the middle into center field. A base hit for Torrealba, and the Mariners have the go-ahead run aboard. So that poor little fella out there is going to have to count on some leftover popcorn here at Rogers Center until they open up the roof,
which might not be until tomorrow or the next day.
How about all the sunflower seeds? I mean, that's a banquet.
He'll find some. He'll find some.
Oh, sure. 1-on, 1 away. Here's Ichiro. Outside fastball from McGowan. Ball 1. We're in the top half of the 6th. Fouled away by Ichiro. 1 ball, 1 strike. I remember one game in Exhibition Stadium years ago, Red, where Dave Henderson was playing center field and there was a ball hit into the gap in right center. There was about, I think, 20 Seagulls out there, and David had to go after the fly ball. Birds flew all over the place. Just surrounded Hendu. Up and in on Ichiro. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. But that was a common sight. Ground ball to the shortstop. Adams over to second for 1. Hill's relay in time to double up Beecher on a close play at first base to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Mariners and the Blue Jays, and 1 pigeon, all tied at 5-5. Mariners and the Blue Jays all tied at 5-5 as we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Hey friends, now's the time to jump to the front of the line and secure your spot at Safeco Field for next season. There's several great season ticket plans for you to choose from, including half season and 16 game plans. Get in on all the Safeco Field summer fun with Ichiro, Felix, and Richie. Visit SeattleMariners.com/season tickets for details. Look at part of the crowd tonight here at Rogers Center.
See Torrealba behind the plate kind of shaking his left wrist. Pitch before they threw down to second base was in the dirt, got him right in the wrist. And he's kind of shaking his hand on his glove side. Getting a little bit upset.
Not too happy.
Not too happy.
Jay Hillenbrand leading off the inning, takes up and in ball one. Hillenbrand safe on a fielder's choice, scored a run in the first. He's popped up to Lopez at second base. Fastball by Pinero's in there for a strike, and the count is 1-1. He's throwing nothing but strikes from the second inning on. Look at that pitch count in the first inning, 34. Strike on the outside corner. Took a little off, and the count is now 1-2 on Hillenbrand.
Well, 34 pitch in the first inning and 16, 12, 12, 10. Yeah, I mean, good to get back more realistic numbers.
Down and away. Slider from Pinero, 2-2 on Hillenbrand. Hillenbrand with a 2-run home run last night in the bottom of the ninth inning off of Eddie Guardado. The Mariners won 3-2. Fly ball into right field, area 51, and Ichiro puts it away. 1 out for the Blue Jays here in the sixth. We've got a 5-5 tie. Joel turning 27 a few days ago. Happy birthday to Joel. He's going to be a new daddy for the second time here in the next few days. Wife Shirley going to give birth to a baby girl. Congratulations to Joel and Shirley. Here's right fielder Alex Rijos. Breaking ball, strike, 0-1. Rijos 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a run scored in the first when the Blue Jays did all of their damage. High fly ball, shallow left field, coming up Ibanez. Raul calling for it, and he's got it. So 2 outs for the Blue Jays here in the sixth inning. And what a turnaround for Joel Pinero. He's retired 14 of the last 15 batters he's faced. He's given up only 1 hit from the second inning on. 91 pitches for Joel. So 2 outs for Toronto. And here's left fielder Gabe Rose. Oh, 0-1. Blue Jays and the Expos, expansion cousins.
2 of the 3 batters he's faced here in the inning, he has started off strike 1. Rios and Gross. Concentration.
Matt Thorne down in the bullpen. There's a strike, and the count is 0-2 on Gross. So Pinero locked in.
Yeah, you can see the way he's going. He's already pitched. He's waiting for the batter to get ready.
Yeah. Swung on, fly ball, shallow left, but coming up, Ibanez is there to make the catch. That's 15 out of 16 retired by Joel Pinero, and that's it for the Blue Jays in the sixth. We go to the seventh, still tied 5-5. Blue Jays 5 as we go to the top of the seventh inning here at Rogers Center in Toronto. The final meeting of the year between these two ball clubs. Shortstop Junieski Betancourt will lead things off for the Mariners against hard-throwing right-hander Gavin McGowan. Betancourt's been aboard 3 times. He's singled to left field, a broken bat single in the first. He's walked a couple of times outside. Ball 1. How about Betancourt? He's hit safely now in 9 of his last 10 games for an average of .450. Ground ball to the second baseman, down on one knee. Aaron Hill is there and makes the play. 1 out. That scared the pigeon away. Pigeon was
well, he's out in front of the dugout right now. He'll be back. But getting back to what you're talking about, Betancourt, I think the more comfortable that he feels out there on the field, the more comfortable he feels with his new teammates, getting just feeling more comfortable, period. I think we're beginning to see what he's capable of doing, and certainly he's capable of playing shortstop and playing extremely well.
Raul Ibanez takes a look at ball one, gaining more and more confidence with each game, each at bat.
You don't know what Betancourt's going to hit. I mean, you still don't know. But right now he's right around the 260 average. And as a shortstop, you'll take that in a heartbeat. If you get about 250, 260, and then just play the you-know-what out of that position.
Ibanez with a fly ball to left field. Gabe Gross is there to make the catch. So 2 outs for the Mariners here in the 7th inning.
Hadn't been until recent years where the shortstop has been more of a power position with guys like Ripken and A-Rod, and then Garcia Parra, Tejada and Jeter, and those guys. Yeah. But it's primarily a shortstop where you're involved with so many plays. Boy, you can do you can really be a very valuable part, being able to knock down balls and turn double plays.
Sexton bounces one wide of third. Right there is Koski to make the play for out number 3. And the fans in Rogers Center will take their 7th inning stretch after 6.5. Mariners and the Blue Jays are tied at 5. Here at Rogers Center, all tied at 5. Will the Mariners close out the 2005 season coming up on Sunday, October the 2nd. And it's also Ivers and Kid Valley Kids Appreciation Day. All kids receive a Mariner Moose poster. And there's going to be tons of great giveaways for the kids during the game, including iPods, autographed Mariners memorabilia, and more. For tickets, call 206-622-HITS. Hey, everybody's a kid when they come out to the ballpark. But a special day for the youngsters on Kids Appreciation Day on the final day of the year. Aaron Hill fouls away the first pitch. Some youngsters here at Rogers Center tonight hoping for a souvenir. They brought their gloves out red.
Got to bring your glove to the ballpark. Never know when you can catch a fly ball.
Down and away on Hill. 1 ball and 1 strike. 23,118 tonight. Biggest crowd of the series. A couple of youngsters here talking with Dad. Popped up. Third base side. Some room for Adrian Beltre. Got it. 1 away. Wow. Joel Pinheiro has retired 16 of the last 17 batters that he faced, and Reddy's faced the minimum from the 2nd inning on, because the one guy who got on, Catalinato, with a leadoff single in the 5th, was erased on a double play ball by Wells.
Yeah, he's been outstanding ever since the 1st inning. He's shut the door basically on the Blue Jays, and depending on how this inning goes, right now there's some action out in the bullpen for the Mariners, but he can get through this inning right here, through that fastball right on by Kiro.
0-1 on the Blue Jay catcher, making his first appearance in this series. 1 for 2 tonight with a double back in the 1st inning. And there is strike 2, and Pinheiro's been a strike throwing machine.
You know, he's not getting tired. That last pitch, 93 miles an hour. So Joel is still feeling strong.
Curveball got him swinging in the dirt. Torrealba knocks it down. The throw down to Sexton is in time for the strikeout. The putout goes 2-3. 17 out of 18 retired by Joel, and 2 outs. And look at the pitch count by inning after that rocky first. He hasn't thrown that many.
Hasn't thrown that many at all. Look at that. The last 3 innings, 10, 10, and 6 so far.
8 strikeouts for Pinheiro.
Now he might go out there in the 8th inning.
So 2 outs for the Blue Jays. Here's shortstop, leadoff batter Russ Adams. Down and away for ball 1.
I have him with 8 strikeouts. How many do you have?
8.
8. That's a season high.
Up and away for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. He didn't have his best stuff his last time out Saturday in Texas when he left after 5 innings, but he left with a 5-4 lead. Rangers eventually won 7-6 in the bottom of the 9th. Got a strike on the inside corner. 2-1 the count on Adams.
Joel's strikeout record, most strikeouts in a game. His career high is 12. He did that a couple of years ago against Minnesota.
On ball to the right side, having hurrying off the glove of Lopez. Jose had a chance to make that play. Trying to cut it off in the gap between first and second, and Adams is safe at first base with 2 outs.
Well, let's see how they score that. Certainly was a catchable ball.
And that's going to be an error on Jose Lopez. Got there, couldn't gather it in, so they have charged Lopez with the air. 1 on and 2 outs for designated hitter Frank Catalinato. Game tied at 5 here in the 7th. Back in time is Adams.
We said in the very first inning that Russ Adams looked like the first pitch to Catalinato was thinking about trying to steal. So you better keep an eye on him. 9 stolen bases.
Fly ball to the left center. Jeremy Reed has it tracked, and he gets there in plenty of time to make the catch for out number 3. And after 7 innings of play, we go to the 8th, 5-5 tie. Joel Pinheiro is settled down, giving the Mariners a chance to come back. They have. The game is tied at 5-5 as we head to the top half of the 8th inning. A new pitcher for the Blue Jays, and it's going to be right-hander Justin Spire.
And you can take a look at the numbers for Spire. Record of 2-2, making it 63rd appearance of the year. He's given up 10 home runs, but opponents are not hitting very much against him. They're only hitting 193, and this will be his 2nd appearance in this series. Spire came in the game on Monday, and he went 1 inning and zeros across. He struck out a couple of batters in the inning that he worked. He came in and worked the 8th inning, and he got Lopez to ground out, and then he struck out Reed and then Morris. But here in the inning, Spire is going to be facing Beltre, Morris, and then Reed.
It's all tied at 5-5. Very impressive outing by the kid, the right-hander Dustin McGowan, who went the last 2 2/3 innings, gave up only 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and he struck out 3. He was throwing 97 miles an hour. Adrian Beltre, a big 2-run double in the 5th inning that tied the game, scoring Ibanez and Sexton. Ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Starter Gustavo Chacin went 4 1/3 innings. He had a 5-0 lead in the 1st. Fastball strike, 2-1 on Beltre. Justin Spire taking over, 3rd pitch used by manager John Gibbons. 2nd year as the skipper of the club, fouled back by Beltre, 2-2.
Boy, Beltre had a pitch to hit, and he just fouled it straight back. And he had a really good cut at it.
Spire left the slider out over the plate. Ground ball, chopper toward 3rd, charging Koski. The throw on the run, not in time, and Beltre is safe. Hustling up that line, beats the throw by Corey Koski. The Mariners have the go-ahead run on at first base.
You see Koski coming in, but you don't see is the hustle of Adrian Beltre. There's the throw to first base, and Beltre just does beat it out. But look at the effort this time by Beltre. Gets a good jump out of the batter's box and runs hard all the way. Good effort right there.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
Man. Right out of the box in a hurry. The infield single by Beltre.
And we're going to have a pinch hitter. Dobbs is going to pinch hit for Morris.
So manager Mike Hargrove going to his bench to get the left-handed bat of Dobbs. And Dobbs is having a very good month of September.
Yeah, comes in here. He's a pinch hitter. You got a 10-game hitting streak going. Dauber last night in the 4th inning singled to drive in a couple of runs, and it turned around. That not that the last 2 runs that the Mariners scored were driven in by Dobbs.
Up and away with a fastball on Dobbs. Ball 1, who's hitting .382 Red during that 10-game hitting streak you talked about. 13 for 34. Been driving the ball back up the middle. There's a chopper to Hopper to the second baseman. Hill goes to first for the out on Dobbs. Now Beltre in the run down over to Adams, who chases him down and gets the tag on Beltre. The 4-3-6 double play turned by the Blue Jays, and that turned out to be a heads-up play by the second baseman Aaron Hill, who went to first to get Dobbs, and they came back to get Beltre.
Smart move that time by Hill, the second baseman. Get in front of the runner like that, run him back. Now if he stops, go to first, get the run, and then come back and get Beltre, as he's involved in that right between first and second. You can come back and get him anytime you want him. Surprised that Hillenbrand didn't throw that ball a little sooner, because Beltre was way close to to second base.
2 outs and a strike on Jeremy Reed. Game still tied at 5-5 here in the 8th. Fastball down and away, 1-1. Key for the second baseman, get to the ball quickly, get in front of the runner, try to get him back toward first base, moving in that direction, then go get the batter, and then you've got the guy in the rundown between first and second.
Still have time to come back and get the guy in a rundown, get the runner from first, get him in a rundown.
Up the first base side, count is still 1-2 on Reed. Spire on in relief here in the 8th inning. 2 outs, nobody on. Cleveland and Kansas City. The Indians are leading the Royals 5-1. Yankees now lead Baltimore 6-1. Ground ball back up the middle and into center field past the diving shortstop Russ Adams. And the Mariners again have the go-ahead run back on at first base. With 2 outs here in the 8th. The Yankees have won 9 of their last 10, while the Boston Red Sox have gone 5-5, and now the Yankees have a half-game lead over Boston.
Yeah, how about
in the East?
You know, the way things are going right now, wouldn't that be something? The Red Sox and the White Sox in first place all year long, all of a sudden find themselves, maybe both of them, not even in the playoffs.
There's a chance. Fouled away behind home plate by Jose Lopez, 0-1. The Indians yesterday shut out the White Sox in Chicago 8-0. And now the Indians are just 2.5 back of the White Sox in the Central, and they had a 15-game lead.
White Sox are getting ready for a 4-game series against the Minnesota Twins, and they're going to have to face Santana in that series.
While Cleveland is in Kansas City.
Well, Cleveland's in Kansas City. You're right. So long way to go. It's going to get. I tell you what, those games are fun. They're really a lot of fun. Tell you what, they're a lot of fun if you eventually win.
Yeah.
You look back and say, whoa, that was a lot of fun. But if you lose, they're not fun at all.
Bounce foul up the third base side by Lopez. And that's what really turned on the Pacific Northwest back in '95 when the Mariners started to win in August and the Angels started to lose, and every game meant so much. And I thought Jay Buhner had the greatest quote that I saw a few weeks ago when he said, everything means everything.
Yeah.
And it really did.
Sure did.
Every pitch, every play. And the Mariners just didn't give up any at-bats down the stretch as they caught the Angels and had the 1-game playoff.
Time called. Now the catcher is going to go out and have a little visit out there on the mound. The one thing I noticed during that stretch is that the players, Mariners, kept showing up at the ballpark early. They couldn't wait to get to the ballpark.
Yeah.
I mean, to sit around the house, you say, you're kind of chomping at the bit. Wait, I got to get out of here. I got to go to the ballpark.
Down and away, delayed steal. Reed will coast into second base. How about that? 1-2. The count on Lopez. Nobody was covering. Reed hesitated, then took off, and he waltzes into second base with his 12th stolen base of the year.
Yeah, shuffle, and then go on the delayed steal. Caught the Blue Jays with their heads down.
Lopez fouls one away, and the count is still 1-2. So how about that? The delayed steal with 2 outs, and Reed is on at second base. Go ahead run out in scoring position, all even at 5. We're in the top of the 8th with 2 outs. Jose Lopez, 2 runs batted in with a double in the 4th. Pop up into right field. Rijos is there, and he makes the catch for out number 3. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Our score: the Mariners 5 and the Blue Jays 5. 5-5 tie as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Toronto, where the Mariners' final home series of the year begins with Fan Appreciation Night coming up on Friday, September the 20th against the Oakland A's. Game time is 7:05, and all fans receive a team poster. And there's going to be tons of great prizes given away during the game, including Alaska Airlines vacations packages, iPods, autographed Mariner jerseys, and much, much more. Log on to SeattleMariners.com for tickets. Vernon Wells leading off the bottom of the 8th with a fly ball into straightaway right field. Ichiro is underneath it and makes the catch, one away. Joel Pinheiro has gone all the way after giving up 5 runs on 7 hits in the first inning. He threw 34 pitches, and from the second inning on, he's given up only 1 hit and has retired 19 of the last 21. How about that? Here's Corey Koski.
Tough inning for Joel. He got by the first guy, Vernon Wells, but then you've got Koski and then Hillenbrand and then Rios after that if anybody gets on. This is right in their 3, 4, 5 hitters.
Koski takes a look at ball 1.
Joel is still throwing well. That last pitch, 92 miles an hour.
High, ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. You know that I'm sure Brian Price and manager Mike Hargrove got together with Joel. How do you feel? And I'm sure Joel said, I want to go back out there in the bottom of the 8th inning. Koski 1 for 3 with an RBI double. Down and in, bounces in, ball 3. 3-0. First time through the lineup. Blue Jays were 7 for 8. Since then, 1 for 20. That's how Joel has turned things around. And a strike on Koski as the count goes to 3-1. Brian Price back in the dugout along with bench coach Ron Hasse alongside manager Mike Hargrove. Mariners came back. And ball 4. So Koski walks, and that's the first walk given up by Joel Pinheiro. He's walked only 13 batters in his last 10 starts. That's his first walk tonight. 1 on, 1 away. Activity down in the Mariner bullpen. Here is first baseman Shea Hillenbrand.
Really doesn't figure that Koski is going to try to steal. He only has 3 stolen bases, so just keep him close over at first base and then concentrate on the hitter.
And a strike on Hillenbrand. 0-1. Keep the ball down. Hillenbrand with a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 9th last night.
Yeah, right now the only guy that really can hurt Joel is the hitter. So just keep him close, but concentrate on getting this guy out right here.
Hillenbrand is 0 for 3. Good pitch on the outside corner.
A lot of times you can tell what kind of a curveball a pitcher has by the reaction of the hitter. That last pitch, it had Hillenbrand kind of jerking back, which means Joel's curveball is still sharp breaking type of curveball.
And it caught the outside corner. The 0-2. Curveball in the dirt, and look at Toriyama. Just smothered that ball, dropped right on in front of him, deadened the ball right there, and he kept Koski the go-ahead run at first base. Nicely done by Toriyama.
Well, we were saying earlier, only 3 pass balls in the last 238 games, and you can see the way that he blocks that he does a good job of checking in there with the dugout to see whether you're going to pitch out or you want a pitch call.
There goes Koski. Fly ball into center field. Jeremy Reed is there, and he'll make the catch. 2 outs, and back to first base goes Corey Koski, who was running with a pitch. 2 outs for the Blue Jays here in the bottom of the 8th.
I think they're gambling that time in the event that with 2 strikes and Hillenbrand hits one on the ground, that they don't turn the double play. So go ahead and send the runner.
Manager John Gibbons looking over his lineup card. Every red circle you see there is the guy that made the last out in the previous inning. Here's Alex Rijos, who was 1 for 3, and RBI singled in that 5-run first inning. Curveball for a strike. He's throwing that early in the count, late in the count. 0-1 on Rijos. Well hit into left field. back into the corner. Ibanez on the run, and this one is a fair ball off the foul pole. Home run. Alex Rios with a 2-run home run off the foul pole. It hit the screen that juts out into fair territory right down the left field line. Alex Rios with his 10th home run of the season with Koski aboard, and the Blue Jays have taken a 7-5 lead here in the bottom of the 8th.
Look at it again. Got the pitch up, and Rios right down the line, shortest point in the ballpark, and it hits the screen, the foul pole.
7-5 Blue Jays. Gabe Gross with a drive into right center field, skips on by Ichiro. Gross to second. He'll stop there with a double. Throw in to Beltre at third base. So Gabe Gross going after the first pitch and drives it into right center field. So 2 runs are in with 2 outs. Koski the walk. The home run by Rios, his 2nd of the series, 10th of the year. Now Gross the double. And I tell you what, Pinheiro really battled to try to keep the Mariners in this game. The Mariners came back to tie, and now the Blue Jays have the lead 7-5, and that's going to be it. Mike Hargrove out to the mound, and right-hander Rafael Soriano will take over in relief. 2 runs are in on the home run by Alex Rios, but I tell you, Pinheiro really battled after that rocky first inning. Here comes Soriano. We'll be back after this timeout. It's now the Blue Jays 7 and the Mariners 5 with 2 outs, a man on here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Well, the Mariners would like to thank Washington Mutual for their support this year, including the kids inning at every home game, as well as the back-to-school rally in August. Thanks again to Washington Mutual for all of their support this season. Young man here at Rogers Center tonight. A 2-run home run by Alex Rios, and the Blue Jays lead 7-5. The new pitcher, right-hander Rafael Soriano. Aaron Hill takes a slider outside, ball 1, and Red, here's the line tonight for Joel Pinheiro.
Yeah, 7 2/3 inning, 118 pitches, 8 strikeouts. That's a season high strikeouts. Walked only 1 batter, and you wouldn't know it, he'd come around and score there in the 8th inning. But I'll tell you what, very good performance. Yeah, he had a shaky first inning and did not pitch very well, but then after that he settled down and he pitched a dandy of a game.
Gave the Mariners a chance to come back. They did to tie, and now it's 7-5 Blue Jays. Aaron Hill is 0 for 2, has a sacrifice fly and a run batted in. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Soriano coming back from the Tommy John surgery. A little over a year making it back to the big leagues. Good slider, still has the velocity with his fastball. Is at 94, 95. When he first came up a couple of years ago, he could throw 97, 98. That's still pretty good after the Tommy John surgery. Fly ball down the right field line. Ichiro going back toward the corner. He's there, reaches out and makes the catch, and that will end the inning. But the Blue Jays get a couple on the home run by Alex Rios, and we go to the top of the 9th inning. Blue Jays lead 7-5. Seven to 5 Blue Jays. We go to the top half of the 9th inning. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Top of the 9th, and Ramon Santiago has been announced as a pinch hitter for Jorby Torrealba, switch hitter. Justin Spire was warming up, and the left-hander Scott Schoenweiss will take over in relief. So Schoenweiss, manager John Gibbons, going out to get the left-hander Schoenweiss before we get underway here in the top half of the 9th. 7-5 Blue Jays, and we'll be back after this timeout. Here's Scott Schoenweiss to face the pinch hitting switch hitter Ramon Santiago.
And you look at the season numbers, making his 77th appearance, a record of 3-4. He has 1 save this year, given up only a couple of home runs. His job is to get left-handers out. But Santiago going up the plate to switch hitter. He's going to turn around and bat right-handed now.
So here's Santiago. Ball one. Ramon down at AAA Tacoma, batted .251, had 10 home runs and 50 runs batted in 129 games, helping the Rainiers to the playoffs. Fouled away 1-1. Tacoma losing out to Nashville for the Pacific Coast League Championship, led by manager Danny Roan, who's been with the ball club the last few days. A lot of the guys who were in Tacoma this year are here in the big leagues. Fly ball down the right field line. This one is a foul ball, just fouled down the right field line. Not by much. 1-2 on Santiago. Ichiro due up next, and then Betancourt, the right-handed bat. The Blue Jays have the right-hander. Batista down in the bullpen, their closer.
I think they brought Schoenweiss in primarily to get Ichiro out. They knew that they're going to put Santiago up there and switch him.
Fastball, check swing. Did not go.
Did not go around.
2-2. Santiago coming over in a deal with the Detroit Tigers in that trade for Carlos Guillen. That hit him. So Santiago hit on the left arm by Schoenweiss. He gets on the hard way. Mariners will bring the tying run to the plate, and trainer Rick Griffin going out to check up on Santiago, and he's in a lot of pain right now.
Got him right in the shoulder, or right in the back of the tricep area. You see it goes in like that, and then all of a sudden, oh, it got him right on the elbow. Right on the elbow. Look at it one more time from center field. Tried to hold up right on the elbow, and boy, I tell you what, that can linger around for a while.
Trainer Rick Griffin checking in with Santiago. He's still in a whole lot of hurt, but he'll stay in this ball game. Little guy can run. He's on at first base with nobody out. Ichiro due up next. So here is Ichiro to face Schoenweiss. 333 hitter against Schoenweiss. Up and away with a fastball, ball one. Due up next is Betancourt. Mariners came back from a 5-0 deficit to tie it at 5, and now the Blue Jays have a 7-5 lead with a 2-run home run by Rios in the 8th inning, fouled away, and the count is even on Ichiro at 1 ball and 1 strike. He's 0 for 4 tonight. Top third of the batting order with only 1 hit against Blue Jays pitching tonight. Inside, and it's off the glove of the catcher Quiroz, and it almost hit Ichiro. 2-1 on Ichiro.
Well, they have been pitching Ichiro inside quite a bit tonight, trying to get that ball right in on his hand, trying to make him pull the ball.
Schoenweiss hit Santiago, lead off the inning, almost nailed Ichiro. Fouled away at the plate, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. On this date in baseball history, September the 22nd, read back in 1911, Cy Young, 44 years of age, beat the Pirates 1-0 for his 511th win, his final win in the big leagues.
511. Wow, no wonder they call it the Cy Young Award.
Ground ball, shortstop Russ Adams over to the second baseman Hill to reel it at first, not in time. They get the out at second on Santiago. Russ Adams had to hurry off to his left to get to it. Ichiro safe at first base. A 6-4 fielder's choice. 1 on, 1 away.
And that'll bring John Gibbons out, and they're probably going to go and bring in Batista, their closer. As we said, Schoenweiss was in the game to get Santiago, and primarily Ichiro. They're worried about Ichiro.
And here it comes. Closer Miguel Batista will take over in relief. 1 on, 1 away. 7-5 Blue Jays. Will be back after this timeout. On in relief. And Red, let's go back to Monday night. Bases loaded. Batista on in relief to face Richie Sexson. Grand slam home run to right field. The Mariners came back and beat the Blue Jays 7-5.
Yeah, it was a fastball out over the plate. Mariners win that ball game. Sexton's 9th home run, 9th career grand slam, his 3rd this year.
And Dave Hansen is up there to pinch hit for Junieski Betancourt, and he takes ball 1. So here's Dave Hansen. He represents the tying run at home plate. He's 3 for 5 in his career against Batista. That was his 8th blown save of the year on Monday night by Batista. Fastball misses, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes on Hansen.
There are the numbers for Batista. His 68th appearance of the year, record of 5-7. And you can see the saves, 28.
There was Ichiro. And a strike on Hansen, and Ichiro in at second base unchallenged.
That would be indifference again.
And it's 2-1 on Hansen. Fouled away, and the count is even on David at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Batista has struggled lately. One on, 1 away, 9th inning, down by a couple, 7-5. Fly ball lifted down the right field line and toward the corner, going back. Rijos to the 1 track, and near the fence, he's there and makes the catch. Ichiro will tag and go from second to third. Rijos had a little bit of room to work with right down the right field line. So 2 outs with Ichiro on at third base here in the 9th inning.
Boy, came so close to hitting a home run to tie the ball game. But down into the right field corner, Rijos tracking it and has room.
7-5 Blue Jays. The Mariners are down to their final out, and here is Raul Ibanez, who takes outside, ball 1. Oh, 19 home runs, 84 runs batted in. Up and away with a fastball, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Ibanez dialing up the fastball right here from Batista. And a fly ball into left center field. Underneath it is Gabe Gross, and he's there to make the catch, and the ball game is over. The Toronto Blue Jays win the finale of the 4-game series by a score of 7-5. They had the early 5-0 lead. Mariners came back to tie, and the Blue Jays win Game 4. Blue Jays 7, the Mariners 5. We'll be back with more from Rogers Center right after these messages.